Thank you so much. And Ed, where did Ed go? Has he already run off the podium? Where is he? Ed, thank you for that welcome, and more importantly, thank you for reminding us of part of this great tradition and history of this IAFF. Let me also make sure that with all the incredible work that our members do all across two great nations, certainly the work that each and every one of you have done and are doing in our profession, let's make sure we keep our thoughts and our prayers on behalf of two incredible teams that are now operating in absolute devastation following the catastrophic earthquake in Japan. And I just want to make sure that I give a shout out to our two USAR teams, Local 2068, Fairfax County, Virginia, Local 1014, Los Angeles County, Virginia, who are over there doing their work, doing their job. Did I say Los Angeles County, California? Don't get me, where's Dave? God. And, but they make us so proud, so let's make sure that, that we keep their thoughts, our thoughts on their behalf. And I also want to make sure that, that I acknowledge someone who certainly was responsible for bringing our entire political and legislative operation up to another level when he had his opportunity to provide the leadership to this IAFF. He did so understanding that the importance of advancing our members' agenda is making sure that we can play in the political arena. And in order to play in that arena, you have to have the tools and the resources and the muscle to do so. And because of his leadership and the work that he did throughout his career and tenure as our general president, this conference was named after him. And I want to make sure that I also recognize my friend, my brother, your General President Emeritus, Al Whitehead, for all of his work that he's done over the years on our behalf. Al? Sisters and brothers, our 29th Legislative Conference comes at a seminal moment for our country, for our labor movement, and for our union, this great IAFF. Since the elections just 4 short months ago, the political landscape has transformed. Nothing less than an ideological shift of historic proportions. New members of the United States Congress, along with governors and state legislators who rode a wave of public anger into office, have ousted many of our political friends. And now they have set their sights on us. This new political breed has come out of the gate swinging, calling us, our union, you, our leadership, and our members, our entire movement. They're calling us part of the problem, the cause of all the state and local government economic pain. They have vilified our union, and they're describing public employees as villains. Simply put, they're characterizing us, our members, the incredible work they do in their communities every single day, as the enemy. Our opponents have mobilized and begun the most comprehensive, organized, coordinated assault on worker rights and on this labor movement since the violent acts on workers in the early 1900s. Since the time when anti-union fervor was so high that coal miners were being massacred for just trying to organize a union, murderous campaigns were initiated against farm workers in California. Pinkertons were battering auto workers in Toledo, beating up truck drivers in Minneapolis, and attacking textile workers throughout this country. Today, although their tactics are less physical, the goals remain the same. This new extremist group of politicians think that they have a directive to force right to work for less laws through their legislatures, some 12 moving through now. They think they've been empowered so as to rob our members of the pensions they've earned and are entitled to. They believe this election result validates their commitment to push paycheck deception bills, 21 states now, simply so that they can silence our political voice. They've been emboldened to pursue legislation to eliminate dues deduction, first in Alabama, now with Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Florida ready to take the next shots. All of this simply to try and destroy our union's ability to do its work on behalf of the men and women of the IAFF. They're using the cruel recession we've been dealing with for over 2 years as a cover to go after unions, to go after firefighters and paramedics, to go after workers, and to attack us from every conceivable angle. It's coming at us, and it's coming at us fast and furious from all across this country. It's nothing less than a vicious attack. But I'm telling you right now, as God is my witness, this union isn't going to take it lying down. We haven't been taking it lying down. We have faced adversity before, and we are ready to fight back. We're ready to fight back. Are you ready to fight back? You know, it is just, it's so incredibly deceitful, devious, and dishonest as they say their concerns are about the budget shortfalls and the deficits, that they really don't want to kill our unions. Although you've got to really listen to what they're saying. No, they're not courageous enough to really tell the truth. This isn't about budgets and deficits. The core of what's going on right now is simply a smokescreen of fiscal responsibility, using balancing their budgets and government flexibility as their cover for simply attacking us. They say our members are the reason this country is hurting. Its state and local budgets are underwater, that our members make too much, their benefits are too generous, their retirement plans are out of line with society and unsustainable. They want to take everything away from us and then argue they're acting on the best interest of the citizens, the taxpayers. Well, I got one thing for them to understand. Our members are citizens, and our members are taxpayers, and they're not going to take a bite out of us without us taking a bite out of them, I'll tell you that. And I know bullshit when I see it. When I got to listen to it yesterday on Meet the Press with the governor talking about government unions have no place in our society. When I got to listen this morning to Morning Joe arguing that public employees never should have had the right to bargain or organize, then I really see this for what it is. That this assault really isn't about balancing the budgets, managing government resources, or being good stewards of the taxpayers' money. No, this fight is about power. This is about their effort to take control of every aspect of our country and society and to take unilateral control of our members' lives and livelihoods. They proclaim they want smaller government. This group keeps talking about smaller government. We need less government. And yet this is the same group that wants to destroy worker rights, people's rights, and they want the government to have even more control and more power, retaining it all for themselves. It's hypocritical at best. Those that have funded these politicians know exactly what they've bought. And their efforts against us, those that already control the overwhelming wealth in this country, this is real simple. They want us out. They want our unions dead. They are perfectly comfortable in describing you, our members, who serve their communities 24/7, who respond when our fellow citizens are in crisis, who epitomize service and duty and dedication. And they're willing to describe them as the greedy, privileged class. Well, they have a hell of a lot of nerve calling our members the privileged class when it was those who make up the wealthiest 1% in this nation, those from Wall Street, those who created the predatory mortgages that crashed our real estate market, those reckless money managers and high-flying investment bankers and hedge fund managers that created the Ponzi schemes that sent our stock market into the tank. All of those who sent our country into economic crisis and ran this economy into the ground, they caused the recession, and then they got the nerve to say that we're the problem and to lay the bill at the feet of our members. Well, I'll tell you what I say. I say no. In fact, I say hell no. They're not going to get away with it without a fight back from us. They caused this recession, not our members writing rigs. And they got bailed out by us, the taxpayers, while they continue to receive their huge, unjustifiable bonuses. $20.8 billion worth of bonuses in 2010 alone. And today, those same firms that put us in this mess, like Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, and JP Morgan Chase, they're paying their employees an average of $500,000 a year, not counting these gross bonuses they keep paying out at the end of the year. They're the ones that sent tax revenues plummeting, throwing state and local budgets into chaos, not the benefits of our members. And then they say it's the pension benefits of firefighters. That's at the heart of our economic calamity. They're calling our members, remember, the privileged class? It's these overgenerous pension plans. That's what the problem is. Well, that wasn't the problem 4 years ago. That wasn't the problem 6 years ago. It's not the problem for 80% of our plans that are 80% funded. This is all a ruse. This is all nothing but bullshit to try to take power back and put us in the back seat. And you know what? We're going to stay driving the bus. We're going to fight them every step of the way. You know, it's incredible to me how the hell they can get away with that message. But you know what the fact is? We're watching it. We've been listening to it. The country is beginning to believe it. And the fact is that until recently, the media was letting them not only get away with it, but helping them push it along. But we sure as hell are not going to let them get away with it anymore. And that's why we are fighting back with everything we have. I have been so proud to see our leadership and our members leading the charge in Wisconsin. Call out to Wisconsin. You guys are incredible. You've been leading the labor movement. You've been standing up for workers. You've been standing up for our members. And I'll tell you what, it's spreading. That energy and that commitment is spreading because Ohio, I was so proud, as I was with Wisconsin, to be in that state and in Columbus just last week, and to be rallying at the Capitol, to be marching up that street, to be taking on that governor when he's doing his State of the Union. and he could hear us saying, "Kill the bill. Shame on you." I am so proud of all of our leadership. Florida, Oklahoma, Indiana, and so many other states. You've all seen the coverage of the rallies and the marches and the protests and the sit-ins that are being held against those politicians who think they have a mandate to destroy our union and take away our members' rights. No, I've been proud. I've been so proud of all of you. And I've been privileged. I've been privileged to rally with you. And this IAFF of yours has been focused to help get our message out. And we're doing it with a multifaceted PR campaign. We're running our print ads. We're doing our cable buys for our 30-second spots. We're pushing viral campaigns online, using all of the social media outlets, doing everything we can to help get our members' side of the story out there. And we will be prepared to do the same as these fights continue to come to a head in so many other states. Let me just paraphrase the immortal words of revolutionary hero John Paul Jones. This IAFF has only begun the fight. They don't know what they're taking on. We've been doing this since 1918. We will be here when they're gone. We're ready for the battle. Are you? Now, I know our union, and I know the political demographics of our members. You know the political demographics of our members. They're split. Our members are pretty much down the line, Republican, Democrat. I always say we unfortunately have a slice in the middle that thinks it's all a bunch of crap. But the fact is that this current fight isn't about political parties. But this fight is about the extremists who are coming after us. The truth is, this fight is about political retribution. They think they see an opening to have an open season on us. Karl Rove and his ilk see an opportunity to cripple us and to allow them free rein going forward, unchallenged in their efforts to completely take over. They really do want to turn the clock back. This is a coordinated, organized effort by the far right to destroy American labor movement, to take away the rights of everyday American workers who want nothing more than a fair day's pay and a safe place to work to earn a living for their family. No, they simply want more. And in a calculated move to take advantage of what they believe is a shifting political landscape, they're waging a war, and it's being waged on us. And they're willing to declare firefighters and paramedics and other public workers as public enemy number one. They'll do anything to get more power. Listen, we've been watching what Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker and his Republican legislators have been doing, and finally proved just last week. Oh, talking about the budget, talking about government flexibility, talking about their concern for the deficit. And after failing to get a quorum to act for 3 weeks because of the courage of 14 Democratic senators, they simply gamed the system, sidestepped the law. They decided to split the bill. They're not worried about the budget parts any longer. They want to make sure the anti-worker bill parts late in the evening get passed. And then pulling all the financial pieces out so that they can simply ram through anti-collective bargaining provisions that have taken away the rights of workers that they've had for 50 years. They proved their efforts were nothing about the budget, simply about political power. Their only goal was to completely gut workers' rights and hopefully weaken the union movement in that state. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know what they've been watching or what they've been listening to, but they made a miscalculation. They overreached. They're not gutting our unions. They're not making them take a step backward. They are energizing them. They are galvanizing them. Our workers, our members, and our unions are ready to fight, and we're not going to quit now. I don't care if that bill's signed or not. You know, look at Ohio. Governor John Kasich, the managing partner of Lehman Brothers, who encouraged Ohio's public pension plans to invest in and then lose $480 million when they collapsed, while he continued to collect his bonuses right up until the day that Lehman went bankrupt. And then he wants to turn around and attack Ohio's public workers, our members, saying that it's the pension plans that are unaffordable, their rights are too much and too many. What a damn hypocrite. He's part of that same ilk, making it clear what this really is all about, what he really stands for, by pushing SB 5, a bill that completely decimates the rights of all government workers in that state and doesn't affect a single dollar in a single budget line. It's all about the power. It's all about trying to take us down. Well, Governor Kasich, I think you heard loud and clear last week, and you're going to continue to hear, you're not taking us down. Ultimately, we're going to take you out. All of this has happened in just 4 short months. In some ways, it's hard to imagine. It's only last November, and during the lame duck session, when we were so confident and so prepared in pursuing bargaining rights for those 20 states and our members who've been waiting way too long for that fundamental right. But with this shifting electorate and this new political environment, all of a sudden now we find ourselves in battles in dozens of states which are trying to destroy those very same rights where they've been provided for decades. Now, this is an epic shift of a political arena, one that includes those that are willing to take advantage of an electorate that has been feeling the anger and the fear and the pain of this economic crisis. So now we're faced with bargaining rights under attack, not just in Wisconsin, Ohio, it's in Iowa, Colorado, Michigan, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Florida, New Hampshire, the list goes on. Now, those working against us have made their real purpose crystal clear. Their efforts are about union busting, plain and simple. This is about taking rights from the people who work for a living and giving the spoils to the rich. This is nothing less than reverting back to the days of class warfare. They want to dictate, they want to abrogate, and they want to annihilate us. They think they can beat us down with more than 500 bills that we're now watching and following that are attacking labor, introduced in state legislatures all across this country. Our opponents see more than just an opening to chip away at us. They see a clear path in their view that will lead right back to the 1920s. And as we position ourselves to take on the anti-union battles, we're facing attacks on our pensions everywhere. And it doesn't matter whether your plans are well-funded or not, because where they are, they're lying about it. Look at Florida. Their plan's 101% funded, yet our members are still coming under attack. New York, unfortunately, we got a Governor Cuomo that's targeting plans and our members, even though the state fire and police plan is 108% funded. And where we do have some funding issues, it's not because of our employees having overly generous benefits. It's typically because employers didn't make their payments. And there's no better poster child for mismanagement and telling the lie than Chris Christie in New Jersey. They had a $7.5 billion surplus in 2000. How did they get a surplus in 2000 if these pension benefits are so out of touch? No. They took that plan and failed to make their full actuarial payments and skipped them altogether for over a decade. And by 2008, along with the shaky market, they've got an unfunded liability of $34 billion. And what does he do? He wants to blame it on our members, blame it on workers, blame it on those that have paid and earned those pension plans. We have to keep listening to those that keep talking about shared sacrifice. If I hear about shared sacrifice anymore, I tell you what, I'm going to scream. Because I like screaming anyway. Shared sacrifice. How much have we heard this everywhere? To deal with the pension and budget challenges that many of our communities face. But what they fail to do is to acknowledge the work that you've done. The work of so many of our affiliates that have come back to the table, that have cooperated with their city and municipal leaderships to deal with this brutal recession. I've watched you help solve the problems in Tulsa and Reno and Warren, Ohio, San Francisco, Bremerton, Washington, and so many other cities doing your part. I've watched our affiliates and our members take furloughs, give back some wage concessions, shared in cost of health care, and so much more. Not because we particularly wanted to, but because you were responsible, trying to save a job, trying to keep those members riding those rigs. But I'll tell you today that doing our part is one thing, but if they thought that we were going to sit back and let them destroy the retirement security of our members, if they think that we're going to sit back and step back and let our members come under attack, then they've got another thought coming. Our pension plans were built over decades of sacrifice. Nobody gave our members anything. They paid for those plans. Those are deferred wages. They gave up so much on the front end to be able to build good, solid plans. Our members have paid the price for these benefits over the years. They've earned these benefits over their careers, and no one has ever given them anything without them paying the price. If they think they can take it away now, if they think that we will walk away from them now, they have got another thing coming because we are fighting back. Sisters and brothers, these are the battles we're up against. The stakes couldn't be higher. The future of the labor movement could be decided over the next 2 years as we wage the fight of our lives. Our adversaries are not going to get me down, though. And I know they're not going to get our incredible executive board and our affiliate leadership down. I know I'm up for this fight. And I know you're up for this fight, and I'm telling you, we're going to wage this fight, and we're going to do it together. They will hear us, see us, and feel us loud and clear in the days to come. Now, I know I've said a lot about the battles across the states, and I also know that usually we gather here every year to talk about our federal legislative initiatives. And through this week, we will discuss those issues. Because just like in the states, we're under attack by anti-union members of Congress as well. Oh, they're introducing legislation to attack our pension plans, legislation to undermine our health care plans, legislation to try to tax those benefits that we've earned. Now, they want to force our members into the Social Security system. In fact, right off the bat, they went after our Safer Jobs program, the very program that has put firefighters and paramedics back on the job. More than 2,600 of them over this last year, and another 3,000 more jobs coming this year. And I've got to tell you, the work you did, the response when we called out, was nothing less than amazing. When we were able to fend off not one, but 2 attacks last month in this polarized political atmosphere. After the GOP-controlled House totally zeroed out the SAFER funding, zero, $480 million, zero. As one of only 12 amendments out of over 400 amendments offered to that budget bill, two of those 12 were ours. The House approved our friend, Congressman Bill Pascrell's amendment to restore full funding to the SAFER program and the FIRE Act, $510 million by an overwhelming majority. It was the largest amount of money restored to any budget line. We went back and we got the waiver language passed to make sure that that money could be used to fill those jobs lost through attrition and bring those firefighters back to work who received their pink slip. But this fight isn't over. Now, it was a great victory up against all the congressional leadership, the Speaker, the Majority Leader, the committee chair, the subcommittee chair. No, we rolled the GOP leadership. But the fight isn't over because FIRE and SAFER are going to be under sustained attack by our opponents still going forward. So we've got our work to do. Which brings me to something that I've got to say again about our favorite poster child, Scott Walker. You know, it was in that infamous phone call 2 weeks ago with the blogger who was pretending to be extremist billionaire David Koch. When the governor said, quote, "This is our moment." By that, he meant that for the anti-union forces out there, that this is their opportunity to cripple this labor movement, to destroy our unions. He proudly compared this time to the air traffic controller strike 30 years ago. Those PATCO members, I remind you, some suggest an illegal strike. Well, what was legal back in the 20s and 30s and throughout this great fight and struggle for America's labor movement? Sometimes you got to break the law to end up making new law. But the fact is that while we're celebrating trade unionism in Poland, those PATCO members were fired. They were put in leg shackles and put in jail. And then every one of them was prohibited from ever holding their job again. Their union was broken. But beyond breaking PATCO, it was a decisive act that changed the direction of the labor movement. It changed that direction down, beginning labor's steady decline. It also began changing public opinion to accept and more support the contention that unions were really no longer playing any useful role in our society. It was a defining moment. And the truth is, the labor movement blinked. Well, brothers and sisters, all of us here in this room, that we're now faced with our defining moment. And we can take hold of it or we can slide into the abyss. It's truly up to us, every one of us. We're going to make history in these next many months, one way or the other. It's a sobering thought, but it's real. And everyone here needs to be ready, because it is going to be up to us to make sure that we come out of this fight stronger than we went going into it. We cannot sit back and watch this played out on the evening news. We cannot be silent. It is our job to inject the truth into the dialogue about our members, the jobs they do, the wages, benefits, the pensions they've earned, about the basic rights that our members deserve on the job. The battles are all around us, And we are fighting to survive. So every one of us, every one of you, we must stand up and be counted. Every one of us must be heard. Governor Walker, Kasich, Scott, and all of the rest of their kind may think it's their defining moment, but it's not. This is our defining moment, and we're going to deliver on behalf of the members of the IAFF. We're going to deliver. This is our moment, and we will not fail our members. Our members and our leaders have stood tall in the battle in Wisconsin and Ohio. They're standing tall all over this country. And I can tell you this, they may be trying to divide and conquer, but they're failing in their attempt to silence us, even while they're trying to simply gut workers' rights. So we're going to stand strong. We're going to stand strong all across this country, in New Hampshire, Nebraska, Oklahoma. We're going to stand strong in Alabama and Tennessee. We're going to use the political arena if we need to. We're going to use the public opinion if we need to. We'll use the courts if we need to. We're ready to take on the front lines in Iowa, Missouri, New Jersey, Michigan, Idaho, Indiana, and so many more. We will be prepared for this battle. We are fighting this battle. It may be coming at us fast and furious, but this union is prepared to fight back. And with everything we have to protect our members and their jobs and their futures, we're going to fight on their behalf. We've come to this fight with what we used to say in the old days, money, marbles, and chalk. That means everything it takes to play this game. Well, we're going to bring that game to them. We're going to put our money where our mouth is. Your incredible executive board has authorized and established a supplemental fighting back budget. And we're going to be ready to assist you in these battles as they come head to head in each of your states. Our incredible staff is operating in crisis mode to ensure that we're triaging the cases properly and to make sure that you're getting the expertise you need to fight back. We're going to crank out those commercials, those ads, those internet ads, those newspaper ads, the cable buys. We are going to target the state capitals. We're going to make sure that we're at our peak for this fight. We've responded in so many ways. We're responding with op-eds, editorials, letter to the editors, viral email, and we're preparing it so that you can use it to make sure that the citizens in your communities know the truth. We're going to make all these tools available to make sure that you can personalize them for your fights in your communities, to get your story out. Because we've already seen that when the public gets the truth, that public opinion is willing to change. In fact, when the truth is heard, the people will be on our side. The people will support us. But we have to take this fight beyond the airways. We got to take it to the neighborhoods. This is going to take boots on the ground. We've got to be in that political arena. We may not like what happened 4 months ago, but we don't have the luxury to sit back and lick our wounds. We got to get right back in that arena. And we're going to use the polling booths. We're going to use it whether it's pushing referendums, whether it's doing recalls of bad legislatures. We're going to be prepared to go after and beat these bastards come election time this November in 2012. We'll beat them every way we can, any way we can. We're going to hold the people in high regard. And the hard work that we know how to put in, it's what's going to allow us to prevail. And we will prevail. Because for 93 years, we've been standing together, doing the hard work to create a great and rewarding profession. And to continue that legacy, we must be stronger than our opponents, and we must be more determined, and we must be united. We must make sure that the future of our members will be as rewarding as their past. So today, tomorrow, as we go forward from here, stand with me, stand with your executive board, stand with each other. Let's all of us standing together to preserve our members' jobs, standing together to protect their lives, livelihoods, their future. This is our moment. to make a difference. This is our moment to be heard. This is our moment to fight back. This is our moment to win again. And together, that's exactly what we're going to do. Win again. Thank you. God bless you. And let's do the work on behalf of the members of the IAFF.